These pollutants severely affect the human body, and their effects can remain for a long time. This is a very serious issue, and the longer these residents live in these hazardous environmental conditions, the more harm it will cause as time passes. These pollutants result in several dangerous health problems and life-threatening illnesses and diseases, the most common of which are asthma and skin allergies. One of my children has a strange condition, and his body is filled with a rash that resembles eczema. The weird thing is that when I take him to his uncle's house, the rash disappears, but when he returns home a day or two later, the same rash reappears. If we leave the country, his eczema goes away completely, but returns when he comes back home. What more evidence do you need? It is my civil right as a Kuwaiti to live in a safe and clean environment. The government favors the traders who own the private companies over the residents. This is a humanitarian issue and not a trading one. How long do we have to fight, and what are we fighting for? Our souls? Our children's souls? Are we not the sons of our nation? As you can see, the amount of people that suffer from asthma in Ali Sabah Salam is almost 14 times higher compared to the other cities in Kuwait. Moreover, official figures provided by the Audit Bureau have shown that in 2005, a total of 1,399 residents were diagnosed with asthma, and the most recent official figures show that this number has increased to 8,074 in 2009.
Pollution also affects vital parts of the human body, like the liver, kidneys, and the lungs, and can cause several types of cancer. Moreover, these pollutants also have negative effects, especially on women and children. For instance, there have been several reports of symptoms of abortion, complications in women's menstrual cycles, deformation of fetuses, and infertility.
The amount of people that have been diagnosed and have died from cancer in Al Haiman has increased severely. I am one of these people, and my 6-year-old nephew, who was in kindergarten, was diagnosed with cancer. He was a child that used to walk and play with other children. We took him to be treated in London, and they asked if we lived next to factories. They told us he has brain cancer. Is that fair? Why should an innocent child suffer like this? They should either remove the factories or remove us, because we are fed up and we just want to live like normal human beings, and we are suffering day and night. The problem has even torn families apart, and wives divorce their husbands because they don't want to live in these harsh conditions, and they want to protect their children.
The issue began as an environmental problem, but has also evolved into a social one after several domestic disputes and divorces. Moreover, there have been many fatalities recorded in Ali Sabah Salim, but one of the most outspoken was in December 2008, when a 6-year-old girl called Dima passed away from a brain tumor. It was a tragic event, and one that deepened the outcry to help solve these dangerous standards of living.
My eldest children were diagnosed with asthma, and I used to treat them at the local hospital, and they would go for a checkup every 2 weeks. So I told the doctor that we are coming to you every other week, and you give my sons medicine, and they get better, but then after they become sick again, and they start coughing day and night. The doctor told me that the reason they are sick is because the level of pollution present in the area you live in. And if you want your sons to be cured, you have to leave this area, and they will never get better as long as they live there. In 2006, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. We tried to treat her, but it was God's will to take her from us. And this was due to the high level of pollution in Al Haiman. This is the medical report that states that my daughter was diagnosed with cancer, and it was issued on the 6th of May, 2008. It shows the last checkup that she was supposed to attend at the King Faisal Specialist Hospital in Riyadh, and it was on the 6th of January 2009. She died before this date, and I like to call her my daughter Dima, the martyr of Al Haiman. Since 2003 to this date, the record of movement of Ali Sabah Salam is enriched with actions from volunteers and on the official level, such as government bodies and institutions. The problem was addressed by Environmental Public Authority, the Public Authority for Industry, the Ministry of Health, the Public Authority for Agriculture Affairs and Fish Resources, Kuwait's municipality, and several other bodies responsible. They held several meetings, discussions, and researches to find a practical and realistic solution to solve the severe problem, but no concrete action was taken other than statements issued in newspapers and other press publications. Even the residents of Ali Sabah Salam have taken the issue into their own hands and have held many protests and strikes throughout the past years. In May 2010, 15,000 students did not attend school in protest of the air pollution, which was organized by the area's Volunteer Environmental Protection Committee and with 100% participation. The students staged a 2-day walkout to send a peaceful message to the government that they are suffering, but it resulted in no action and the problem is not even close to being solved. The residents have also taken the matter to the courts and have filed legal charges against the factories surrounding their homes, but they received no assistance from either the executive or the legislative bodies, as Kuwait's laws do not provide for or recognize such issues as a serious problem. Furthermore, the issue has caused political turmoil in Kuwait and has no longer become just an environmental issue. It has led to an interpellation of the Prime Minister, who heads the Council of Ministers. The Environmental Public Authority, EPA, which is one of the main bodies monitoring this problem, has not taken any active solution to end the crisis for the residents of this area, as they have appointed unqualified people to the posts occupied by the EPA and has resulted in the mismanagement and improper treatment of the country's environmental situation. The EPA also does not have the proper tools to monitor pollution levels, and as a consequence, this has aggravated Ali Sabah Salam's pollution and other environmental problems. There are two proposed solutions that would help solve the problem of Ali Sabah Salam area, and they are to direct the path of high-voltage power lines from their current aerial track to underground cables, to remove all the private factories which cause 80% of the air's pollution, the industrial facilities, and the waste burial sites from the area and maintain it as a safe residential area, or to remove the entire residential area and designate Ali Sabah Salam solely as an industrial zone.
This pollution does not only affect humans, but also our animals. They don't speak, but we can feel that they are suffering just as much as we are. My dogs are severely affected, and one of them had a miscarriage and lost 11 puppies. I'm very caring with my dogs, and I take them to the best vets in Kuwait. Even my cats have lost many litters and suffer as the dogs do. I hope what has happened to my animals does not happen to my children, because this is not an easy thing to deal with, and we hope that more people can stand beside us and help us.
Among the essential factors of human rights is the entitlement to live in safe housing and residential areas from all aspects. Unfortunately, this is not the case for the families living in Ali Sabah Salam area in Kuwait. The Kuwaiti government distributes land or homes to its citizens. However, after enduring the trouble and waiting around 15 to 20 years to obtain a house and settle down comfortably, the families were surprised to discover that the houses they inhabited exposed them to several health illnesses and diseases, and they had no choice in the matter. When these houses were constructed on this land, the government did not account for the fact that this area was not suitable and did not meet the standard of living conditions due to the health risks. The area does not meet either the international health or environmental standards or specifications, despite severe warnings by professionals. I restate that it was a big mistake that we took the decision to establish this area. I also informed the highest authority and His Highness the late Emir Sheikh Jabir, and I told him that I am a resident of this area and I know what I'm talking about. I even wrote in the newspaper, and I furthermore explained what I told the Minister of Housing at the time. I told them, have mercy, you are going to regret this, but they told me that I'm exaggerating. We have had enough of inhaling these gases that are coming from the southeast, from East Shuaibah, and as a result this issue distresses me as we can smell the gases from 50 kilometers away. We need to save the families, and especially the children of Ali Sabah Salam, from the pollution that is destroying their health as we need to protect our future generations from infringements of environmental and basic human rights. At this rate, the country is encouraging the pollution levels by not doing enough to eradicate it. Pollution is currently on the increase, and factories are emitting more poisons in the air on a daily basis. The community of Ali Sabah Salam has tried everything in their power to eradicate this problem at all official levels.
Now we have reached this step, and we are appealing to you with all your esteem and knowledge to help us.
The residents of Ali Sabah Salam have only one hope, and that is to breathe clean air and look up at the sky and see that it is pollution-free.
أمانة لا تخلونا، أمانة حزننا لا تخلونا، أمانة في بيئة يفتقر فيها الأمان، أمان يا كويتنا وانت الأمان، أمان يا كويتنا وانت الأمان. اللي صرخ ينادي ينتظر في ظل آيادي، يحتضر من شر باقي، والأمل بالله كبير، والعشم فيكم يا هلنا، والرجال قول فاعلها يحفظ الله كل بلدنا وكلنا نبقى بأمان. طفل يصرخ ينادي ينتظر بظل آيادي، يحتضر من شر باقي، الأمل بالله كبير، والعشم فيكم يا هلنا، والرجال قول فعلها يحفظ الله كل بلدنا وكلنا نبقى بأمان. أمانة لا تخلوا